Today I fucked up by flirting with my future stepmother. This isn't some weird fantasy fetish porn post. Take my word for it, I seriously foo. My father, 49M, wanted me, 28M, his only child, to meet his fiancée, 34F, before their wedding. So I took a flight to the city they're at. Mind you, I've never even seen a picture of the woman. Then headed later on that night to the restaurant we planned on meeting in. A beautiful blonde lady was sitting alone by the bar, and my dick decided to guide me towards her. I offered to buy her a drink cause I wanted her number. She didn't entertain me much, but she laughed, clearly flattered when I guessed her age to be 25 after she asked me to. She pointed at the ring on her finger and told me she's engaged, just here to meet up with her fiancé's son, and that her fiancé was on his way but got stuck in a meeting. Yeah, that's when I knew I fucked up big time. I wanted to leave the restaurant, take a flight back home and never look back. But my father walked into the restaurant and came directly towards us, guiding us to the reserved table. She froze, then burst into laughter when she realized that I am the son in question she's here to meet. She went ahead and childishly told my father that I asked for her number. He pretended to be amused, but his eyes were a dead giveaway of the lack of entertainment he's feeling. Dinner was awkward to say the least. TLR, I flirted with my future stepmother on our first time meeting without knowing who she is, and my father got pissed. Editing this in cause I'm tired of repeating it. No, my father doesn't have any pictures of me, especially as an adult. He didn't even raise me. We're not close. Besides, it's his third marriage, so I wasn't interested to ask for a picture of her. Well, what can he expect when he goes for a woman closer to your age than his own? She takes one look at me and goes, "Oh my god. I've had the old bull, now I want the young calf," and she grabs me by the wiener. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess. Yeah, you fucked up, but there's no way you could have known. And as long as you were polite and respectful with the flirting, then honestly, there's no shame whatsoever. Dad, you've always told me that sharing is caring. Today I fucked up by picking a bucket rat to dissect in biology class. I'm a non-traditional student going back to school to finish my degree. In my Bio 122 lab class we dissected rats. There were two types of rats, bucket rats, which were pretty large, and bag rats, which were smaller. We were supposed to alternate with our other tablemates so we could see both. The other group at my table didn't want to do the big rat, so I agreed to swap with them and do the bucket rat. My rat was absolutely massive. Not including his tail, his body was nearly as long as my forearm and his middle was so big I could barely put my hands around him. My teacher comments on how he was a big boy. When it was time to cut him open, I soon realized that the reason he was so big was because he had 2 golf ball-sized tumors in his lower abdomen. My teacher was ecstatic. She said she had never seen anything like that before. She told us to work around then and we would look at them as a class at the end. It was a real pain working around the tumors, as I'm sure you can imagine they obstructed quite a bit since they were so large. Several organs were not where they should have been as well. I ended up having to remove the smaller tumor so that I could see the bladder. At the end of lab, when everyone else had cleaned up their stations, my teacher instructed me to take my rat to the middle of the room and cut open the tumor so that everyone else could watch. Now for the traumatic part. I quickly realized that the tumors weren't actually tumors as I cut into the first one. They were giant pus-filled cysts. Creamy off-white liquid started squirting out. The stench was horrible. Several of my classmates jumped back in horror. My teacher found this development to be even more awesome. She made me squeeze out the contents while she recorded a video, loudly proclaiming, "Yeah. Just like Dr. Pimple Popper." I'm not sure how I made it out of that lab without losing my lunch. I shouldn't have agreed to switch rats. Too long did not read. I agreed to switch my smaller rat for the larger bucket rat to dissect in biolab. Ended up having 2 large pus-filled cysts. Teacher made me cut them open and squeeze the contents out in front of the entire class while she recorded. Edit to fix some autocorrect, grammatical, spelling errors since some people were salty. That teacher of yours is just exuding science teacher energy. They're the crackheads of the school, not counting the actual crackheads. That's pretty gnarly, but at least you know you have a stomach strong enough to be a veterinary surgeon lol. I'm on the teacher's side with this one, sorry. A kid in my HS bio class accidentally inhaled a bunch of liquid from a big lung. Can't recall what happened to cause it. I think he blew too much air into it and the liquid came up, but he ended up vomiting everywhere. Hate when my lunch is loose.